So let's compare Russia to Ukraine. Today we'll be comparing these nations in 6 categories: basic information, geography, populations, economies, militaries, and other random crap. To start us off, Ukraine is located in Eastern Europe and was founded on August 24th, 1991. Its head of state is President Volodymyr Zelensky, who is a member of the Servant of the People Party. To Ukraine's dismay, Russia is also located in Eastern Europe, stretching through Asia, and was founded on Christmas Day of 1991. Its head of state is President Vladimir Putin, who is a member of United Russia. Obviously, the two nations have, less than ideal relations, but we'll get into that later. Both countries were once 2 of 15 socialist republics in the former Soviet Union, along with Moldova, Belarus, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. In fact, Russia was home to the Soviet capital, about 3/4 of its land, and about half of its population. Famous Russian landmarks include St. Basil's Cathedral, the Winter Palace, and the Kremlin. Ukraine also hosts famous landmarks including the Motherland Monument, St. Sophia Cathedral, and Chernobyl, I guess? The national animal of Russia is the Eurasian brown bear, with a population of over 100,000 of them nationwide. Ukraine's national animal is the nightingale, while sunflowers and borscht are also common Ukrainian symbols. The Ukrainian flag symbolizes a wheat field under a blue sky. Russia's flag was first used in the 1600s and was originally inspired by the Dutch tricolor. Russia is an absolute gargantuan nation, being just a bit smaller than South America and about 70 times the size of the United Kingdom. You could also fit about 34.9 million Vatican cities in Russia. It's obviously the largest country in the world, ahead of the United States and its hat. Ukraine is the largest country entirely in Europe and the 45th largest worldwide, but it could still fit inside of Russia about 28 times. For comparison, here are the two nations next to each other. Here they are placed over Africa, here they are over North America, here they are over South America, and here they are over Oceania. The two countries share a 2,295-kilometer long border. Russia is divided into 46 oblasts, 21 republics, 9 krai, 4 autonomous okrug, 2 federal cities, and 1 autonomous oblast. A total of 83 federal subjects stretching from Norway all the way to North Korea. Russia also claims 6 additional federal subjects which are internationally recognized as Ukrainian territory. These include Crimea, Donetsk, Kherson, Luhansk, the federal city of Sevastopol, and Zaporizhia. Ukraine is divided up into 24 oblasts, 2 cities with special status, and an autonomous republic. A total of 27 administrative divisions. The majority of Russia experiences subarctic climates, also being home to dense forests, several large mountain ranges, Arctic tundra, and even subtropical beaches. The Lena River is the longest in Russia, flowing through Siberia. Most of Ukraine is rather flat with a mild climate, making it the perfect place for growing crops like grain. And I do mean a whole lot of grain. The Crimean Peninsula in the south is home to a beautiful subtropic climate, and the west of the country is home to the Carpathian Mountains. The Dnipro River is Ukraine's longest river, flowing through cities like Kiev, Dnipro, Zaporizhia, and Kherson until reaching the Black Sea. Oh my God! Ukraine is home to about 41 million people, roughly the same number of people as California. Meanwhile, Russia has over 3.5 times as many people, the vast majority of whom live in the European part of the country. Russia is the 9th most populous country, ahead of Mexico and behind Bangladesh. And Ukraine is the 36th most populous country, ahead of Canada and behind Sudan. In 2021, Russia lost 0.4% of its population, while Ukraine lost 0.8% of its population. But since the start of the war, special military operation, over 6 million have left the country. Ukraine is more densely populated than Russia, having 63 people per square kilometer compared to Russia's 9 people per square kilometer. Ufa, Samara, Krasnoyarsk, Chelyabinsk, Nizhny Novgorod, Kazan, Yekaterinburg, Novosibirsk, St. Petersburg, and of course the capital city Moscow are Russia's largest cities. Sevastopol, Mykolaiv, Kryvyi Rih, Lviv, Zaporizhia, Donetsk, Dnipro, Odessa, Kharkiv, and the capital Kiev are Ukraine's largest cities. 67.4% of Ukrainians speak Ukrainian as their first language, 29.6% speak Russian, and 3% speak something else. 85.7% of Russians speak Russian as their first language, 3% speak Tatar, and 11.3% speak something else. Christianity is the largest religion in Russia and Ukraine, with both being Eastern Orthodox countries. Russia also has a large Muslim population, especially in regions like Tatarstan, Bashkortostan, Dagestan, and Chechnya. About 54% of Russians and Ukrainians are females, and about 46% are males. The median age in Russia is 41.5, and the median age in Ukraine is 45.3. The average life expectancy in Russia is about 72 years, while it's about 69.8 years in Ukraine. The currency of Russia is the Russian ruble, and Ukraine's currency is the Ukrainian hryvnia. 1 Russian ruble is equal to just over 1 penny, while 1 Ukrainian hryvnia is equal to 2.6 pennies. 1 Russian ruble is equal to 0.42 Ukrainian hryvnia, and 1 Ukrainian hryvnia is equal to 2.4 Russian rubles. Russia's $1.86 trillion GDP sits just ahead of Mexico but behind Canada, while Ukraine's $173.4 billion GDP is nearly 11 times smaller than that of Russia and sits between those of Kuwait and Hungary. Ukraine's economy grew by 3.2% in 2019 before, let's just say, some stuff went down. In the same year, Russia's economy grew by 2.2%. Since the start of the special military operation, Russia has had to deal with strict sanctions. Companies like Apple, IKEA, Spotify, Adidas, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and Starbucks have all technically left Russia, but Russians are still able to buy many of their products. For example, instead of Starbucks, Russia now has Stars Coffee. Instead of McDonald's, Russia has Vkushnoye Tochka, which translates to tasty period. Instead of Dunkin' Donuts, Russia has Donuto. Instead of Coca-Cola, Russia has Dobry Cola, which is still owned by Coca-Cola. And instead of IKEA, Russia has Sweet House. Ukraine's economy has suffered greatly since the start of the war in February 2022. The Ukrainian government estimated that $143.8 billion of damage had been done to the country in April 2023. Even before the war, Ukraine was the poorest country in all of Europe, with a $4,800 GDP per capita in 2021. Now that number has shrunk to about $4,600, comparable to Iran and Indonesia. Russia's $15,300 GDP per capita in 2022 is also down to about $13,000 today, comparable to China and Argentina. In 2021, Ukraine imported $84 billion worth of goods and exported $81 billion worth of goods. Russia imported nearly $380 billion worth of goods and exported $550 billion worth of goods. Ukraine is the world's 50th largest importer and 51st largest exporter, while Russia is the 20th largest importer and 16th largest exporter. Ukraine has a dastardly 10.6% unemployment rate due to the ongoing conflict. This compares to a low 3.1% unemployment rate in Russia. Rinat Akhmetov, with a $5.7 billion net worth, is Ukraine's richest person, while Andrei Melnychenko, with a $25 billion net worth, is Russia's richest person. However, it is often speculated that Vladdy Daddy himself is actually Russia's richest person and one of the richest men in the world. First, let's go over the events leading up to the current conflict. Russia currently occupies a large portion of Ukraine, including the entire Crimean Peninsula, which it invaded in 2014, following Ukraine's Revolution of Dignity, which began in 2013 as pro-European Union protests, with tens of thousands of participants following Ukraine's pro-Russian President Viktor Yanukovych scrapping a treaty of association with the EU. Needless to say, the Ukrainians didn't really like that, causing the parliament to remove President Yanukovych on February 22nd, 2014. Just 2 days earlier, Russia, fearing the success of the protests, began its invasion and subsequent occupation of Crimea, which has a majority ethnic Russian population. The invasion served to push Ukraine much closer to the west. In April, pro-Russian groups seized government buildings in Luhansk and Donetsk, subsequently proclaiming the Luhansk People's Republic and the Donetsk People's Republic. I mean, seriously, look at these bootleg Russian flags. Nearly 8 years later, on February 21st, 2022, Russia officially recognized both breakaway states and began its current invasion just 3 days later. So here we are today. Russia has 830,900 active duty military personnel, 250,000 reserve personnel, and 250,000 paramilitary personnel. Ukraine has 200,000 active duty military personnel, 250,000 reserve personnel, and 50,000 paramilitary personnel. The Russians have a total of roughly 1.3 million personnel, while the Ukrainians have about 500,000 personnel. Russia has about 4,100 total aircraft and 1,500 helicopters, while Ukraine only has about 300 aircraft and 100 helicopters. Russia has over 12,500 tanks, while Ukraine has just about 1,900 tanks. Russia has roughly 600 naval ships, including 1 aircraft carrier, while Ukraine has just 38 ships in total. Russia is a nuclear power with the highest number of nuclear weapons in the world, while Ukraine is not a nuclear power. Despite the obvious military discrepancies, Ukraine has managed to defend itself against Russia. Sadly, since the start of the war, Russia has suffered over 300,000 casualties, while Ukraine has suffered about 200,000. Russia has also lost 2,400 tanks, 93 aircraft, 132 helicopters, and 16 naval vessels. Ukraine has received about $233 billion of aid from foreign countries, with its top donors being Norway, the United Kingdom, Germany, the United States, and the European Union. Some of Ukraine's top allies are probably Poland, the United States, the United Kingdom, and the Baltic countries Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. Ukraine also has strong relations with Germany, Canada, France, Italy, Romania, and other Western countries. Russia's top allies include Belarus, China, Iran, Eritrea, Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, and even India to a large extent. Ukraine has a $44 billion annual military budget, while Russia has an $86 billion budget. In 2023, Russia was ranked as having the world's second strongest military, while Ukraine was ranked as having the world's 15th strongest military. Moscow's Sheremetyevo International Airport is Russia's busiest airport and the 35th busiest airport in the world, receiving nearly 50 million passengers in 2019. Kiev's Boryspil International Airport is Ukraine's busiest airport, receiving over 15 million passengers in 2019. Slaviki Show is Ukraine's largest YouTube channel with over 20.6 million subscribers. Yet Movies is Russia's largest YouTube channel with 49.2 million subscribers. Both countries have very similar architectural styles, with Soviet architecture being found all across the two nations. Both countries are also covered in commie blocks, which are basically old copy-pasted Soviet-style apartments. Russia has contributed over 1.9 million views to our channel, while Ukraine has contributed about 550,000. If you found value in this comparison, be sure to leave a like and comment, as they really help with the YouTube algorithm. You can also check out this playlist with all of my long-form content. Thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye!